When people think of the rich, they picture supercars, mansions, million-dollar watches, and parties designed to be seen. The common belief is simple. The richer you are, the louder you live. But at the highest level of power, that rule completely collapses. Zeus doesn't spend money to be seen. He spends money to disappear. Not to vanish from the map, but to vanish from curiosity, from intrusion, and from the constant gaze of the world. While others showcase every purchase, Zeus quietly pays for things no one ever notices. Things that never make headlines, things that never appear on social media. And that's what makes it unsettling. Because those invisible expenses are the ones that truly determine who controls the game. So how does Zeus spend money when no one is watching? In this video, we'll uncover how Zeus uses wealth to buy invisibility and absolute control. And by the end, you'll realize something uncomfortable. Real power isn't revealed by what's displayed. It's defined by what's deliberately hidden. Most people believe power needs to be visible. Bodyguards, convoys, presents. But Zeus doesn't surround himself with protection to be admired. He pays for security so that it is never noticed. Zeus doesn't hire guards, he builds systems. Every year, $3 to $5 million disappear into layered security frameworks, multiple rings designed not to intimidate, but to detect. Threats are identified long before they take shape. On top of that, Zeus retains private security specialists, former government and military operators, costing $8 to $10 million annually. These are not men you see standing behind him. These are people who ensure nothing ever reaches him. Add another $2 million a year for counter-surveillance technology, encrypted communications, signal jammers, data shields, and listening device detection. No cameras, no leaks, no trace, no one sees them. But Zeus is always several moves ahead of danger, and that's where the spending escalates. Most people buy homes to live in. Zeus buys distance. He quietly acquires surrounding properties, sometimes entire blocks, not for expansion, but for emptiness. $20 to $30 million spent simply to make sure no one lives too close. In some cities, he rents entire floors, even whole buildings, just to eliminate neighbors. That silence costs $5 to $7 million a year. Then comes the legal layer, specialized teams managing personal data, location exposure, and quiet media containment. Another $1 to $2 million annually, ensuring that his name never appears where it shouldn't. Because to Zeus, knowing where he is means having leverage over him, and leverage is unacceptable. Yet even security and privacy are not the final layer. Zeus doesn't buy noise, he buys silence. His aircraft carry no logos, no identifiable markings, no public flight schedules. The jet alone costs $60 to $80 million, not for luxury, but for anonymity. He charters yachts that aren't publicly registered, used only a few weeks a year, quietly absorbing $5 to $10 million annually. And when he retreats, he chooses places that don't exist online. No pins on Google Maps, no check-ins, no digital footprint at all. For Zeus, silence isn't emotional comfort, it's a strategic asset. And once you understand this, you begin to realize something unsettling. This isn't spending for pleasure, it's spending to remove vulnerability. And what comes next is where money stops being protection and starts becoming control. Most people assume wealth needs proof, that money only matters when it's seen, admired, and talked about. But Zeus has already passed that stage. He doesn't buy to demonstrate that he's rich, because the need to prove wealth is the clearest sign that power is still fragile. Zeus doesn't need supercars to shock anyone. He doesn't need watches to signal status. And he has no interest in parties designed to keep his name circulating. Those are expenses for people who still want validation. People who need recognition to feel real. Zeus doesn't. To him, loud spending is inefficient, wasteful, almost embarrassing. Because Zeus evaluates every expense using only 3 questions. Does it increase control? Does it reduce risk? Does it buy freedom? If the answer is no, Zeus considers it a waste. Even if it costs only $10,000. That's the difference. Most people hesitate before spending millions on things they can't show. Zeus doesn't hesitate at all. He will spend $5 million to make sure no one interrupts him. He will spend $10 million to ensure no one can follow him, physically, digitally, or socially. And he will spend $20 million so he never has to explain himself to anyone. not the press, not partners, not institutions, because explanations are a form of submission. And Zeus refuses to submit. What looks extravagant to the outside world is actually ruthless efficiency. Every dollar Zeus spends is meant to remove friction. Friction caused by attention, by questions, by expectations. While others collect objects, Zeus deletes obstacles. And this is where the hierarchy becomes obvious. People at the bottom spend to impress those above them. People in the middle spend to protect their image. But Zeus spends to eliminate the entire audience. He doesn't want applause. He wants silence. And once you understand that, you begin to see why Zeus never appears wasteful, even when the numbers are extreme. Because the most expensive thing in the world is not luxury, it's vulnerability. And in the next layer of this story, money stops being a filter and becomes a weapon. Most people ask the wrong question about money. They ask, how much does it cost? Zeus never does. Because at his level, money is no longer a price tag. It's a tool. Zeus doesn't spend to acquire things. He spends to restructure reality. The first thing he buys is time. Every minor task, every interruption, every delay that would steal minutes from his focus, he eliminates them. Teams are hired to handle everything beneath strategic thinking. No waiting, no negotiating, no standing in line. Schedules bend around him, not the other way around. Money replaces friction. And time, once reclaimed, compounds into something far more valuable than cash. Because time isn't productivity, time is power. And once time is secured, Zeus buys distance. Distance from media narratives, distance from crowds, distance from chaos that consumes everyone else. He doesn't fight noise, he steps outside of it. While others react to headlines, trends, and crises they didn't choose, Zeus stays far enough away to remain untouched. Distance gives him perspective. Perspective gives him patience, and patience allows him to move only when it benefits him, not when pressure demands it. That's when the final layer comes into view. Control. Zeus doesn't obsess over controlling people. That's inefficient. Instead, he controls access. Access to information, access to his schedule, access to his presence. He decides what reaches him and what never does, which signals matter, which distractions are filtered out, who speaks, and who waits indefinitely. His calendar is a fortress, his information flow is curated, his environment is engineered, and suddenly, something becomes clear. Zeus isn't dominating others, he's eliminating the possibility of being dominated. That's the revelation most people miss. They think power looks like command, like authority, like influence over others, but real power is quieter. It's the ability to remain unaffected, unrushed, unpressured, untouchable. Money in Zeus's hands stops being about luxury or comfort. It becomes a system for preserving autonomy. And once you see this, you can't unsee it. You realize why chasing status is exhausting, why proving success is a trap, why most people feel busy but never free. Zeus doesn't ask what something costs, he asks what it removes. Time lost, distance gained, control secured. And when money is used this way, it no longer measures wealth, it measures freedom. And that understanding is where the entire game changes. The newly rich spend money to be seen. The longtime rich spend money to be secure. And Zeus spends money to maintain control. He disappears when necessary, appears at the right time, and is never forced to react. Not because Zeus has more money, but because Zeus understands what money is used for. How you spend money doesn't say how rich you are. It says what level of power you are at. Do you buy things to be seen by others? Or do you buy space so no one can reach you? That's the difference. And once you've seen that, you won't see money the same way anymore. If this made you pause and think, please like the video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel to continue discovering stories that not everyone dares to tell. Thank you for staying until the end.